If you're wondering why you're doing so much and still not getting the results, this is usually why. You're not avoiding effort, you're avoiding the hard thing. Now, doing a lot does not equal doing the right thing. Busy can hide avoidance, and effort usually goes into easy tasks, familiar tasks, productive tasks, but progress requires usually specific uncomfortable inputs, at least to start with. The hard thing is usually simple. It's just uncomfortable. Usually a hard thing isn't always intense, and a hard thing is often boring, quiet, or awkward. There's three categories I constantly see: starting or restarting a habit, changing your identity or your skill set, or just stopping and resting. Starting or restarting anything is usually hard. And Atomic Habits did a lot for this, trying to make it easier, like stacking a habit, swapping a habit for a different one, using cues to trigger that habit, or just changing the environment into something that's more comfortable or conducive. But what matters more is the starting and accepting that there is going to be a little bit of pain, discomfort, friction, no matter what. And once you accept it, it becomes easier in itself. Discomfort is not the problem. What it usually is a signal that you're doing something new. Now, what can help here is just repeating to yourself that this feels hard and stop interpreting it as wrong. And there'll be phases that you go through. So at the start, that'll usually be the hardest bit before you've even done it. Then you'll be in that little bit of discomfort as you're actually doing it. And then with practice, it'll start to become a skill. It starts to become easier. Most habits don't fail because people don't know what to do. They fail because the start is uncomfortable. Then there's that type of hard thing where it's about changing your identity or building new skills. And that could be things that you did in the past that have been a long time and now you got to practice them again and get good at them. Or it might be something brand new that you've never done before. And you could be in a place of leadership, high responsibility, used to solving problems and helping others. But now the time has come to help yourself more, to start to learn a new thing, to start to practice a new thing and to get better at it that way. And this can feel a bit humiliating or hurting your ego in terms of what you think you should or shouldn't have to do. And the things that can help here are just accepting that you're a beginner again. You're going to learn this new thing and you will get better at it. And then as you practice, your competence improves, your ego starts to let go. And letting go of that identity of I should be already good at this or I shouldn't have to even do this. For people who are already highly competent, the hard thing is being bad at something again. And then there's this, which is the most common thing I'm seeing, is high responsibility roles, people with a lot of things going on, a lot of different places that they're exerting themselves in, whether that's work, family, and their default is doing more, constantly executing, constantly working, constantly outputting. Their system is just always on. And the hard thing here is pausing, slowing down, doing nothing, like taking a walk alone, turning off your phone, taking a few breaths, getting a better bedtime routine. And in this place, it can start to feel like you're getting lazy, you're not as productive. But what we're doing here is we're increasing the capacity so that you can do more, so that those habits don't collapse, you don't lose structure. Because with more pressure, you're going to start to get more inconsistent. And if we can open that up, provide more capacity, that's where it's ultimately going to help the most. For a lot of people in high responsibility roles, the hardest thing isn't doing more, it's stopping. Then there's what I call the anti-hack system. So this is where you can't hack the inputs, you can't cheat the constraints. Examples of this: if you want more recovery, more capacity, you must reduce stress. There's no way around it. If you want to get stronger, more resilient, you must train resistance. If you want to lose body fat, you have to control intakes. Now, substituting or trying to find ways around this might feel clever, but they don't create the same outcome. Some more precise examples of this is if you need recovery, you can't choose an intense run. You can't choose jumping in that cold plunge instead of actually taking some time out, instead of creating some space. If you want resilience, You can't avoid strength training. You can do yoga, Pilates, endurance, but that's a different outcome. And then if you want change and you want the outcome, you have to put the inputs in. You either do the input or you accept a different outcome. Here's the thing which I find really helpful. Hard is usually a perception, but time's a real metric. So what do I mean? This is where you're thinking about that thing you need to do. You're thinking it's hard, it's going to be uncomfortable. That's a perception. That's what you think it might be. That's a discomfort. What really is a metric here is the time, and you can spend the time on something that is productive, that is the right thing, or you can spend time on doing the less optimal thing. But both cost time, one compounds. Another piece here is differentiating between discomfort and actual pain or danger. So discomfort is like that feeling that this is not going to feel nice. And we want to acknowledge it, but still do the thing, go through that bit of discomfort. On the other side is danger, is actual real pain, whether physical or mental, where that's going to end up in an injury or it's going to end up in something like some mental health issue. And with that, we do want to stop and take stock and take the right choice. The hard thing isn't usually hard forever. It's hard until you adapt. So if you're stuck right now, don't ask, how do I get motivated? Ask, what's the hard thing I'm avoiding because it's uncomfortable? And what's the one thing I can drop to make space for it?